Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MPN 101 community call on this bright Wednesday morning in August. My name is Chinmay Bhavani Shankar, and I am the simplification expert in the US Partner Experience team. What that means is that my job is to simplify the program for you as Microsoft partners so that you can make the most of your partner program membership. Now, when I first started in this role, I did realize that the Microsoft Partner Network can be a little overwhelming. Every time we start something new, whether it's a new degree program or a new job, there's some sort of orientation. And so as I got into this role, I realized that we need a partner orientation for new Microsoft partners. So whether you are a new Microsoft partner or you're a new individual within your company who is already an established Microsoft partner, or if you just wanted a refresher of the Microsoft Partner Program, this call is for you. Over the next few minutes, I think this won't last the whole hour, about 40 minutes. I'll try to keep it short and give you some time back and also have some time for questions. Over the next few minutes, I'll give you an overview of what the Microsoft Partner Program is all about. The goal is to make sure that you understand the partner program and understand what resources are available to you so that you can make that work for you and help you achieve your goals. So the focus is all on how we can empower and enable you. Now, the value of partnering with Microsoft is fourfold, in my opinion. If we help you differentiate your business, there are a lot of partners who do the same things as you do, but what differentiates you? And being a part of the partner program, being a validated Microsoft partner gives you one of the differentiation factors. We help you optimize your operations through the resources that we provide to you that I will talk about in this call. We help you make sure that your internal operations are optimized and you're running at your level best so that then you can serve your customers to the best of your capability. The third point is we want to help you modernize your sales and marketing with a lot of partners, and the fact that resources are always difficult to find, sales and marketing, and especially marketing, tends to take a hit. So we want to make sure we have the resources available to you to help you modernize your sales and marketing. And ultimately, it's all about the customer, our shared customer. So we want to help you deliver customer lifetime value. And we help you do all of this by giving you the expertise, the opportunities, and the tools to help you build that community and so that you can make the most of your membership. Before we actually dive into this, I want you to take a step back. Evaluate your business in the next 10 or so seconds. What is your value proposition? What do you do differently than your peers? Do you have an idea of what that is? Do you know what you want in the near future? What is your 1 year, 5 year, 10-year roadmap look like? So have you seen that? Do you kind of have an idea of where you want to go? And what are your strengths and weaknesses? What is your current state? What are you good at? And what do you need help with? The reason I'm asking you to kind of take a look at this is because all the information that I'm going to give you, you can look at that through this lens and then pick out what matters to you most. Are you interested in training? Are you interested in marketing? Are you interested in becoming a member? What would matter to you most would be determined by answering these three questions. So now that you have hopefully thought about that and have an overarching idea, let's get going. The first pillar is about differentiating your business. The Microsoft Partner Network has 3 membership options: network membership, action pack subscription, and competencies. Now, network membership is free. It has a few training opportunities. All you have to do is sign up and you have access to resources. Action Pack subscription is a paid subscription. So for about $500, you get internal use licenses, you get access to support. And competencies is the third earned designation. So in order to get a competency, you'll have to complete a few steps, and there are two levels. There is the silver competency and the gold competency. Currently, we have about 17 competencies that are available to you. It depends on what you have expertise in that you can get the competency that you are eligible for. There are, among the 17 competencies, there are 5 cloud competencies, and these cloud competencies revolve around our cloud product offerings. So around Office 365, there is cloud productivity and small and mid-market cloud solutions competency. Around Microsoft Azure, there is the cloud platform competency. Around Microsoft Dynamics CRM, there's the cloud customer relationship management competency. And around enterprise mobility and security, there's the enterprise mobility management competency. Now, these are the 5 cloud competencies in the 17 different competencies. Now, before I even kind of go through the steps to get a competency and the benefits of that, the one thing you will need to understand about the partner program is that it will change. It is constantly changing. I would be lying to you if I said that this would be the 5 cloud competencies for the next 10 years. The main idea, again, through this call is to make sure that you know where to go to look for the updates. You know where to go to keep up to date with the changes. So keep that in mind as we go through all of this information. What I'm saying now might change next week, but the basic structure will stay the same, and our focus on our partners and customers will also stay the same. There are 4 steps to attaining a cloud competency. First, you'll have to demonstrate sales performance. You'll have to pass technical exams, provide customer evidence. So it's depending on the customers that you have them give a referral that you are the partner who's working with that customer and that they have been happy with your services. And the 4th step is to pay the fees. Now, for silver and gold, the fees are different. And it used to be that a silver cloud competency used to be free, and it's no longer the case. It used to be subsidized, and it's no longer the case. So again, the fees do keep changing, but we change that according to the benefits that we do provide you. So these are the 4 steps to attaining a cloud competency. And the benefits of getting a cloud competency is that you get unlimited cloud support in the cloud product that you get a competency around. Now, if you have an Office 365 competency, you get unlimited cloud support around Office 365. And you get additional software licenses and Azure credits for development and test environments. So this is the internal use licenses that I was talking about. And I'll get to that in a little more detail in just a couple slides as well. But with a cloud competency, you get additional licenses than partners with an Action Pack subscription or partners with a non-cloud competency. You also get eligibility to incentives. There are certain incentives that Microsoft offers our partners, and you get eligibility to those incentives with a cloud competency. With a gold cloud competency, you get guaranteed account coverage. Now, what that means is with a gold cloud competency, you get someone at Microsoft that you can talk to, whether it's a tele-agent, whether it's an account manager. You get a contact to help you build your business around the Microsoft partnership. So that's what account coverage means, and the gold cloud competency is the first step for you to get that coverage. The first step for getting a cloud competency was demonstrating sales performance, right? So if you want to qualify for a silver or gold cloud competency, you need to get recognized for the cloud performance that you're driving. There are 2 ways. You can either be the digital partner of record. So what that means is that you are associated as a servicing partner with your customer, with the cloud subscription that is associated with your customer. So this is how you would qualify for incentives. This is how Microsoft knows that you are driving, partner X is driving cloud consumption with customer Y. And we also realized as we brought this up that there are sometimes multiple partners working with a customer, and that is where partner association came in. We started to take a look into our sales system to make sure that all transacting partners get credit for the consumption that you're driving. And also, you can also be the delegated administrator. So you can have the delegated administrator privileges assigned by your customer that helps you get credit for your customer's consumption. Now, again, this system is not perfect, and there are certain scenarios that we haven't worked through, but at the same time, by being the digital partner of record, you get credit for the cloud performance that you're driving. You can qualify for incentives, and you can also be an additional delegated admin. So your customer will have to assign you as the digital partner of record or the delegated admin in order for you to get credit for the cloud consumption that you're driving. I'll pause really quickly if there are any questions. Brian, your question, how does this relate to CSP? CSP, or the Cloud Solution Provider Program, is another licensing mechanism, if you will. If you're part of the Cloud Solution Provider Program, you're automatically getting credit for the consumption that you're driving. So on the back end, we know that you are the transacting partner. You will not have to do anything in addition to that. Britt, your question for digital partner of record, our product is very specific to Teams and Yammer. Is it possible to get Office 365 entitlements for this specifically? This might be a question for the Office 365 team on the Yammer community. If you go into the Office 365 partners group, they might be able to answer that. We can also take that offline if you send me a note. And Britt, yeah, if the customer has already submitted a DPR for another partner who helped with another aspect of Office 365, you want to make sure that you get credit. So you could be the delegated admin. You could have them change the digital partner of record. Again, as I said, the system isn't perfect, but there are ways for you to get credit for the consumption that you're driving. A good question for the Office 365 partners group, and we can also take this offline a little more. Ted, is it possible to set digital partner of record for indirect CSP subscriptions? So I believe for the Cloud Solution Provider Program, it's not called the digital partner of record, but you do get credit for the consumption that you're driving. Ted, if you can send me a note offline, I'll take this to the Cloud Solution Provider Program expert to get that question answered for you. All right. Now, training. The second step in getting a competency was to get certifications and pass exams. And in order to pass these exams, you will need training. There is free online training. There's different levels of training, whether you want a 20-minute course, just an exploratory information. There are a variety of resources. But if you go to the training site, you can find Microsoft certifications, you can find online or in-person courses, and you can register for an exam and explore free online training as well. So registration for an exam. there are times where we do have some exam discount offers. If you go to the training site and keep your eye open, it'll be useful when the offers do come up to make use of that. The other part about training is also that when you have an employee that has a Microsoft certification, we call them a Microsoft certified professional. It's very important for that individual to be associated with you as a Microsoft partner within the system. So an MPN ID and a Microsoft certified professional ID needs to be associated so that then Microsoft can see that your partner organization has 3 employees who have taken this exam. So make sure that you do that. And also, when you get additional employees as you're expanding, if they have already taken the exams, you can get credit for the exams that your employees have taken. So that increases your validity, your technical capability to Microsoft as well. So make sure that they are associated. Doug, your question, what form does that credit come in? We only used it towards the gold competency so far. And I'm assuming you're still talking about the digital partner of record and getting credit for your cloud consumption. Yes, I think it applies towards your competency. And in case you're participating in any incentive programs, you will also get credit in that way. But I think that will depend on your eligibility to an incentive program and what incentives are offered. Coming back to training, the hot sheet training schedule is the one calendar for all in-person and virtual US partner events. So for the next 2 months, everything that is being planned will be on the hot sheet. You can subscribe to the hot sheet so that you get that in your inbox periodically, or bookmark this page so that you can keep going back and checking whether there's an in-person event coming to your city or if there's a virtual event that is being offered that you might be interested in so that you can plan out your schedule. As you know, Microsoft is a big organization and we try our best to keep all US partner events in this one calendar best as we can. And again, if you need additional information on how to associate yourself or an employee in your company as the technical expert to your organization, you can click this link once you get the slides. The second pillar was optimizing your operations. The biggest benefit of the Microsoft Partner Program is the internal use rights, or software licenses that Microsoft gives its partners to use internally in their organization. Again, I say internally because it is very specific. You cannot sell these licenses. You cannot use these licenses for any customer-facing like website or customer-facing transactions, if you will, other than a demo. That is probably the only place. So with an action pack, you get enough internal use licenses to support up to 10 employees. For a silver competency, you get enough licenses to support up to 25 employees. And with a gold competency, you get enough licenses to support up to 100 employees. Now, this is probably the biggest bang for your buck, because when you think about the fees that you pay for an action pack, for example, it's $500. If you use all of even the Office 365 licenses that you get to support 10 employees, Office 365 costs about 10 to 12 bucks per user per month. So if you do the math, within the year, you've already paid for your subscription if you just use Office 365, and I'm not even talking about the other licenses that you get. Of course, the idea with giving you these licenses is that, one, our research has shown that partners who use the internal use licenses tend to sell 3 times more, because the more you know about the product, the more you can sell, and the better you can sell to your customers because you know those products that much better. But take sales enablement aside, This is a big part of how you can save money for running your organization internally, and you can ensure that your employees are well versed in the technology that they're selling or you're customizing and the solution that you're offering your customers. And here's an overview of the support benefits that you get. Now we can talk about support first, and then I'll come back to this slide. The other part about optimizing your operations is about incentives and investments. Now, if you've heard of it, I'm not sure if you know the difference. I had to learn what the difference was between incentives and investments. Incentives are rewards for Microsoft sales or post-sales activities. So if you are driving usage of Office 365 or consumption of Azure, you might be eligible for certain incentives. Investments are support for marketing events or specific customer engagements. So if you want to do a proof of concept, if you want to try a new solution with your customer, you can request for an investment fund through Microsoft. And again, if you've heard of BIF, like Business Investment Fund or Marketing Investment Fund or something like that, that's what it stands for. Both of these programs, now again, it depends on when these programs are available. These programs could be ad hoc, as in it can just be announced today or tomorrow and say it lasts a month or 2 months, or it could be programmatic, as in you will have this incentive program available to you for the entire year. Now, it depends on how the funding is being funneled internally, and these incentive programs and investment programs are offered to our partners according to that. It also depends on where Microsoft wants to go, and hence we will incent you and we will make that investment in you. It is important to note that you will have to keep checking back to see what programs are available that you might be eligible for. And that is the idea of me telling you about this, so that you know where to go to make sure that you're not leaving any money on the table, right? Sometimes, for example, last fiscal year, there was an incentive program for CSP resellers. So for Cloud Solution Provider Program resellers, between February and June, you could sign up anytime in between then. And so if you are driving Azure consumption, you get an additional 10 or 20% for all the sales that you've made between February and June. So that's just an example of what was available last year. It may or may not be available next year. One thing to keep in mind when you do sign up for these programs, for these incentive or investment programs, there's no guarantee that that's going to continue year over year. So you shouldn't base your business model or change your business model in order to get these investments or these incentives. This should be regarded as cherry on top. If you're already doing something that will make you eligible for this, then why not, right? I wanted to pause for questions really quickly before we jump into sales and marketing. Doug, your question about internal use licenses, can we use it for pre-sales activities internally? Is that okay? I believe so. If there is ever a question, and I'm assuming you're talking about pre-sales in terms of demoing a solution or for development or anything like that, yes, you can definitely use it. I think if you ever have any question, calling the MPN support team at 1-800-MPN-SOLVE would be the best place to go as well. All right, if there aren't any more questions, I'll move on. The third pillar was about modernizing your sales and marketing. And specifically for marketing, here are the two resources that we have. There is Smart Partner Marketing, which is based on the best practices of other successful cloud partners. And we've taken those best practices and broken them down so that you can find what's applicable to you. And then there's Marketing Sure Step. And at this resource, you will find solutions and suggestions that are customized to you. And let's say you say, hey, I'm a company with about 10 employees and I just want basic practical marketing tips and I have a website or whatever else. What should I do? And it gives you those kind of three-tiered things about practical marketing with the resources that you have, about a step above that if you have additional resources, and the third and the very best option, which will involve a lot of resources being invested in that. Again, as I talk to more and more partners, I think marketing always takes a hit in the sense that we don't have enough time and or people to look at marketing. You can go into these resources and also find templates and copy for emails and based on the product. So make sure you take a look at that and invest some time into these resources so that you can save additional money. If you get a consultant, for example, to customize things for you, that will cost you a lot of money. Make sure you know what's already available before you start looking at other options. And as I said, you can also go to the Partner Marketing Center to look at web content, to look at how you can be part of the referral program or how to work with the LinkedIn Sales Navigator now that LinkedIn is part of Microsoft as well. And if you have a silver or gold competency, you can have a logo built around that and use that in your company website as well. Ted, looks like the Marketing Sure Step link doesn't work. I will make sure that it's updated before I send everyone the link. Thank you, Matthew, for bringing that up as well. And the fourth pillar that I talked about was delivering customer lifetime value. And this is where the Cloud Solution Provider program comes into picture, where we enable you to own the end-to-end customer relationship while you can work with a distributor to provide the services that you might not completely be capable of. For example, 24/7 support is not something that every partner can offer their customers, but by going through the Cloud Solution Provider program, which we do consider to be the licensing model of the future, you can work with a distributor that can get that 24/7 support for your customer, but it'll still be under your name. You can get additional details about the Cloud Solution Provider program at the link, and also in the MPN 101 group, if you have any questions, do post that up, so I'll connect you to the subject matter expert around that. The other program that we also have is Fast Track, which helps you plan successful rollouts and onboard new users and capabilities at their own pace. The idea is we want to make sure that you can onboard your customers to these cloud platforms as soon as possible and as consistently as possible, giving a consistent experience across all Microsoft products, so that then you can sell your services. The onboarding shouldn't be the blocker for you. Once you onboard them, then you can add your value-added services onto that. And last but not least, the support options. This is what I get a lot of questions around. There is support community forums that is probably my favorite resource at the moment, because the Microsoft Partner Program has been around for a long time, and there are hundreds and thousands of partners. Chances are, if you have a question, someone else has already asked it, and an agent has already responded to that in detail. So when you have a question, make sure you just do a quick search on the support community. There is phone-based support. I also sent a message to everyone about this number. So for US partners with an action pack or a competency, this phone-based support line is available to you. And from the portal itself, there is live chat. At the bottom right, you'll see a start chat window, so you can ask your question and multitask at the same time if you have something else going on while an agent answers that question for you. And there's also partner technical services, which is an additional level of guidance that we offer you. So for pre-sales and deployment services, you can get a Microsoft consultant to work with you if you need help to customize a solution for a presentation with your customer. You can also use these advisory hours, as you call it, for post-sales, for deployment and development. If you need any questions answered, you can use these hours. And with your membership, you get a few hours assigned to you already. Make sure you use that. Again, a lot of these support incidents, the support incidents cost about $400 per incident, $400. So if you're getting that with your membership already, make sure you make use of that. And technical consultation is available to you through these advisory hours. If you don't like it, then that's a different story. If you haven't tried it, then you haven't even given this a shot and you're already paying for it. So make sure that you make use of it. In addition to all these resources, if you need additional support, there is advanced support and premier support that you can pay for. And with this, you get quicker answers, or if you need specialized support for something that you have going on, you can also use that as an option. There are quite a few technical and business communities that are available to you to get your questions answered as well. So for each of these technical communities, we help you build your practice around application development, around Microsoft Dynamics 365 or Office 365, and so on and so forth. But we also understand that you can't do everything all the time. So we have different areas of disseminating this information for you. So whether it is through a blog or through community calls or through engagement in Yammer or through additional training and enablement, pick your poison, figure out what works for you, and get your information and stay engaged through that. So for example, if you had any Office 365 licensing questions, you can go to the Yammer group and ask your question, and either someone at Microsoft who is well versed in Office 365 will be able to give you the answer or point you to the right resource. And then there are the business-oriented communities, which is where MPN 101 comes into picture. That's the community that I run, where I do have a blog series. I have these community calls. There's the Yammer group, and you can get engaged in either one of those ways. If you are an independent software vendor, there are some additional resources for you. So one of which, again, my colleague Sharon Lee is the ISV lead on the US side, and she's designed the Cloud Ready program, which has the toolkit and the Cloud Ready Analyzer, which is designed to help you build a modern cloud practice and take it to market. So make sure you kind of take a look at those resources and also the Cloud Ready toolkit. Matthew, you had a question about your regional sales contact. Again, this might be a question that we'll have to take offline. If you send me a note, I'll send you my email. Matthew, yes. If you call the support line, they should be able to help you with your account. And if you still have any issues with support, make sure you ask for your case number, and you can send me a note with that, and I'll make sure that is taken care of. Another way to stay engaged with the Microsoft US partner group is through Inspire. Now, this just happened in July in Washington, D.C. It's the biggest partner conference that Microsoft hosts, and this next year it's in Las Vegas from July 15th to 19th in 2018. So you can make your connections and grow your network and talk to Microsoft personnel and hear from Microsoft executives about where we are headed as a company and how that would affect you as partners. Early registration probably gets you the best price. So if you have heard from other people about Microsoft Inspire, make sure you register as soon as possible, because the pass price only keeps going up. And we do, in the next community call, I am doing a recap of Microsoft Inspire 2017. So you can join that next Wednesday at 9:30 so that you can understand what Inspire is all about and then figure out if you want to register for it or not. Again, another way to connect with us is by subscribing to the newsletter, which a lot of you on the call already have done. There's a blog post where we talk about the 3 things for every US partner to get started with. You can take a look at that. You're already participating in the MPN 101 calls, so that's a check right there. And engagement comes in various forms. Again, Facebook, Twitter, or Yammer. Pick your poison, whichever one works for you. I would recommend Yammer, and just to stay up to date on what's going on, whether it's a technical community or a business community. All these links can be available in one place for you at the US Partners Stay Informed page. So if you take a look at this link for USP Stay Informed, you'll get all these links in one place for to help you with your partner journey. All right, with that, I would like to end this call. There's one more question for you. Were you satisfied with what you heard today? Was it what you expected? Please give me your feedback so that I can make sure that the consecutive community calls are made better and can serve you better. Thank you for attending the call. The deck and the recording will be available to you. I hope to see you at the next MPN 101 community call. Thank you.